What if the storm headed your way just got dangerously stronger? The latest data just came in, and it's showing snowfall totals that are exploding far beyond the initial forecasts. Are your travel plans about to become impossible? Our confidence is now incredibly high that this storm will trigger major, widespread travel disruptions. We're looking at a massive target zone stretching across the Midwest and Great Lakes, where a widespread blanket of 6 to 12 inches of snow is now the baseline expectation. But that's just the beginning, because the core of this system is hiding a much bigger punch. Are you in cities like Milwaukee or Chicago? What about Des Moines or Grand Rapids? You are dead center in the bullseye, where we're now looking at the real possibility of over a foot of snow. And it gets even worse in concentrated bands of extremely heavy snow. In the most intense parts of this storm, we're talking about snowfall rates exceeding a blinding 2 inches per hour. This will hit hardest Saturday night into early Sunday morning. Can the snowplows even keep up with that? They'll be struggling as visibility plummets and powerful winds begin to take over. This isn't just snow. It's blowing and drifting snow, creating terrifying, near whiteout conditions at a moment's notice. This will make travel not just dangerous, but in some areas, completely impossible. So what's changed, and what do you need to do? In the next few minutes, we are going to break down exactly what this new data means, what's changed in just the last 24 hours, and why it's pointing to even more significant snowfall for your specific area. But there's a lot more to cover, and you won't believe what's coming after this storm. That's right, we're tracking not one, but 2 different winter storms set to hammer the United States over the next 7 days. The first one, the immediate threat, starts tonight and rages all the way through Sunday. Let's get right into the timeline of this monster. Step 1, tonight. The snow begins to move in, starting to fill the map across the Dakotas and also into Iowa and Missouri. It'll start as mostly light to moderate snow, but don't let that fool you. The intensity is set to explode as we get deeper into the overnight hours. Look at this map. By midnight tonight, the situation changes dramatically. A blanket of snow will completely cover all of Iowa. At the same time, northern Missouri, western Illinois, and southern Minnesota will see that light to moderate snow start to creep in. This will be enough to cause some initial problems. But the real nightmare doesn't even begin until Saturday. You absolutely can't miss this next part. By Saturday morning, the storm unleashes its fury. Notice these dark blue zones exploding on the map? That's the heavy snow ramping up across Iowa and Nebraska. It's even stretching back towards St. Louis. If you are in these areas, this is where the snow will start to pile up at an alarming rate. And here's why. We're talking snowfall rates of up to 2, even 3 inches per hour. Do you realize that means roads can become impassable in under an hour? But the most dangerous window of this storm arrives later Saturday morning. That's when the worst impacts will slam Iowa and Illinois. Why? Because it's not just about the heavy snowfall at this point. A new, even more dangerous element comes into play. Vicious wind gusts will begin to howl, whipping that heavy snow sideways, causing massive drifts and blinding, blowing snow. And that combination is the perfect recipe for near blizzard conditions across huge parts of Iowa and Illinois. Now think about this. It's a Saturday, which is always a busy day on the roads. But the timing gets even worse. Thanksgiving was just a couple of days ago, meaning countless people are still trying to travel home. This is a recipe for disaster on the roadways. This is happening even as widespread winter storm warnings are screaming for attention across Iowa, Illinois, and Wisconsin. Now, let's look ahead to lunchtime. The absolute heaviest snow, the bullseye within the bullseye, will be hammering southern Iowa and into central and western Illinois. This is where those crippling snowfall rates of up to 3 inches per hour will hit. But make no mistake, nearly the entire state of Iowa will be buried in snow all morning long, which means the snow is just going to keep piling up with no relief in sight. This means we could see a staggering 18 inches of snow in some parts of Iowa. That's how you know this is not just another storm. It's a major weather event. And think about it. For the past 3 years, the Midwest has been spared from any truly significant winter storms. This one is set to become one of the most powerful in recent memory. But the timing is everything. And by the afternoon hours, the game changes. A massive portion of this snow is going to begin its relentless march to the east. But here's a critical twist you need to watch for in the late morning. The entire snow band is going to start lifting north. But why is this happening? It's all because a huge surge of warm, moist air is blasting up from the Gulf, and for places like St. Louis and across central and northern Missouri, this changes everything. You're about to witness a complete transformation from pure snow to a messy, heavy snow and rain mix. That means any beautiful snow you have on the ground is about to turn into a miserable, heavy slush. Now, I want you to remember this. The northern and western edges of this storm are the danger zones. That is the bullseye where the most crippling snowfall is going to hit. So by around 2 o'clock, brace yourselves in central and eastern Iowa and northwestern Illinois, because you're going to get hammered by extremely heavy snow. And Chicago, your turn is coming. The storm is going to unleash its full fury during the afternoon. Further north, if you're in Milwaukee or southern Wisconsin, the morning will be deceptive, starting with only light snow. But don't let your guard down. It's going to become much more steady and intense by the afternoon. So, the real pileup, the snow that shuts things down, will happen mainly during the afternoon and evening. Let's fast forward to between 4 and 5 o'clock, right around sunset. At this point, the heaviest snow will be pummeling northern Illinois, while Iowa finally gets a bit of a break with the snow turning much lighter. Then, as night falls, the storm expands, throwing a massive blanket of snow over the entire Great Lakes region. We'll still be seeing snow in Wisconsin even as late as 10 o'clock tomorrow night. And for northern Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and even into northwest Pennsylvania, your ordeal begins right around that 10 o'clock mark. But here's a surprising turn. This whole system is about to hit the accelerator, speeding off to the northeast. As it does, it starts to fall apart, becoming much less organized. What does that mean for the northeast? It means your snowfall totals from late Saturday into Sunday will be a fraction of the monster totals we're seeing in the Midwest. So for everyone watching in New York, Pennsylvania, and Ohio, I don't believe we're talking about a major crippling snow event for you. However, there's a catch. There will absolutely be some localized areas that get slammed with over 6 inches of snow. Then, late Sunday morning and into the afternoon, most of the storm will finally exit the United States, leaving behind only lingering snow across northern New England and upstate New York. But wait, there's more. On the backside of this system, the Great Lakes will fire up, creating lake effect snow for western and northern Michigan all the way up to the upper peninsula. That could easily lead to an additional 3 to 6 inches of powder. Now, just when you think you can relax, as we head into Monday and Tuesday, a second major winter storm is already lining up, taking aim at a path from the Central Plains straight into the Northeast. You absolutely don't want to miss what we have to say about that storm in just a moment. But first, the single biggest change over the last 24 hours is the jaw-dropping amount of snow we are now expecting across the Midwest. What is brewing in the Ohio Valley, the Great Lakes, and the Northeast? We are watching a massive and dangerous uptrend. The brand new National Weather Service forecast is out, and it's a bombshell. We are now expecting a widespread 1 foot of snowfall. Yes, an entire foot of snow is about to blanket most of central and eastern Iowa, southern Wisconsin, northern and central Illinois, all the way into Michigan and Indiana. This is a game-changing forecast. Just yesterday, we thought 6 to 10 inches was the worst of it, but that's completely out the window now. Are you prepared for this? We're now looking at a staggering 9 to 15-inch range of snow expected to be widespread across basically the entire Midwest and the Great Lakes regions, with the absolute bullseye of this storm zeroing in near Davenport, where I'm forecasting 14 inches to fall. Let me repeat that. Davenport is on track to get buried under 14 inches of snow. Milwaukee, you're looking at the same thing, 14 inches. For Chicago, it's closer to 8 to 10 inches. And what's happening over near Kalamazoo? You're likely going to see 10 to 12 inches. If you're down in Indianapolis, I'm forecasting around 5 to 6 inches. And for St. Louis, you're only getting a few hours of snow before a critical transition to rain starts happening during the afternoon. This means those areas are likely to see only about 3 to 4 inches. But don't let your guard down, because even then, it's going to be an incredibly heavy, slushy snow in that region. Now, heading over to Sioux Falls, you're looking at about 6 inches of snowfall. And now, for the part you've been waiting for. Here is the zoomed-in view of the Midwest, so you can see exactly what's coming for your neighborhood. I have to say it again, these numbers are life-threatening. That's why we will be live right here on this channel tomorrow covering this historic winter storm. We might even jump on for a surprise live stream with a Q&A tonight on our YouTube channel, so you'll want to be ready for that. Make sure you are subscribed and have clicked that bell icon so you get the notification the second we go live. This is not a storm to take lightly. We will have an army of live storm chasers and cameras all across the Midwest, covering every single angle of this dangerous system. But wait, there's another, even more extreme scenario that could unfold. This is coming from the HRR model. And if you remember, this is the exact high-resolution model I just showed you with the future radar. This model is now indicating that we could see isolated pockets in places like Iowa or western Illinois get hammered with 15 to 18 inches, with a jaw-dropping peak total near 22 inches of snow just west of Des Moines. And let me be perfectly clear, that scenario is entirely possible. It is critical that you prepare for this winter storm right now. If you have any plans, any intention at all of traveling on the roads over the next 24 hours, you need to take it extremely slow. But honestly, I cannot recommend traveling in the Midwest at all. Just don't do it. Officials are already predicting a very high likelihood of major travel disasters tomorrow, affecting areas from Chicago all the way into western Iowa and back toward Omaha, Nebraska. And here are the latest alerts just issued by the National Weather Service. The map is lighting up. We have winter storm warnings. That's anywhere you see pink, in effect for basically all of Michigan, most of Wisconsin, and Illinois. It also covers Indiana, Ohio, and stretches all the way through Iowa and Minnesota. We also have winter weather advisories shown in purple, and those stretch all the way from Montana into northwest Ohio. So you have to be ready for this monster storm. Get your flashlights ready to go right now in case of power outages. And with snow this heavy, I fully expect to see widespread power outages tomorrow. And as for the roadways, if you have any intention of traveling, you cannot miss what I'm about to show you. I need you to listen carefully. Driving out there will be a life or death situation. Now let me show you just how treacherous the roads are about to become across the Midwest tomorrow. Are you in the storm's direct path? This is the Weather Prediction Center's battle map showing the storm's intensity. And anywhere you see red means you're facing major travel shutdowns. The bullseye stretches from Des Moines right through Davenport and into the northern parts of Illinois near Rockford. But that's not all. We have another major danger zone covering Chicago and Milwaukee, where travel could become impossible tomorrow. Now, if you're in the orange zone, that's a moderate threat, but don't let that fool you. This zone extends from Omaha all the way back into Kalamazoo and even near Grand Rapids in Michigan, cutting right through central Illinois near Springfield. And then there's the yellow zone, where at the very least, minor travel nightmares are forecast, and that includes most of Michigan, Ohio, central Indiana, including Indianapolis, and even down through St. Louis. Let me repeat the most important thing you'll hear today. If you don't absolutely have to travel tomorrow, then don't. It is going to be incredibly dangerous out there. We will be broadcasting live for most of the day, showing you exactly what these conditions look like on the ground as they happen. So make sure you're subscribed to this channel and have smashed that bell icon so you get the alert the second we go live. You won't want to miss it. But what if I told you this storm is just the opening act? Because this is not the only winter monster we're tracking over the next 7 days across the United States. Another massive winter storm is already brewing for the start of next week, which is just a few days away. Here's how it's going to go down. As we head into Monday afternoon, we're going to see two systems collide. Moisture surging from the Gulf and another wave of energy coming over the Rockies. This will unleash a chaotic mix of snow, possibly some freezing rain, and regular rain across the Ozarks and through the Central Plains. And here's the first shocking twist. There could be significant ice accumulation in Arkansas. This is deeply concerning because Arkansas is not equipped to handle a major ice event, and that's a recipe for absolute chaos. Don't miss the next part because as we go into Monday night and Tuesday, this situation gets exponentially worse. The storm system explodes in size and becomes far more organized as these two powerful air masses finally merge. The result? A massive blanket of widespread snow from Missouri, Kansas, and Oklahoma stretching all the way through Michigan and Ohio. And on the other side of this monster, a treacherous ribbon of ice sandwiched right between the rain and snow, with the potential to paralyze Kentucky, Ohio, and even parts of Indiana, Illinois, Arkansas, and Missouri. This means we are staring down the barrel of a multi-state travel catastrophe for Monday night and early Tuesday. But then on Tuesday, this winter storm becomes a whole different beast. It grows even larger. And this is the moment we'll see the most severe travel impacts across the board. The heaviest snowfall accumulation is set to slam down on Tuesday, specifically targeting Ohio and Pennsylvania. It will then track through New York and all the way into New England, where we could witness a legitimate, full-blown nor'easter on Tuesday. The weather world is about to get absolutely wild, especially since we could be looking at our first major nor'easter in years. We simply have not seen a nor'easter capable of this kind of major snowfall event for a very long time. This has the potential to become a historic storm with a widespread 12-plus inches of snow squarely on the table. Nothing is certain yet, but it's looking much more likely that we will be talking about a crippling winter storm to kick off next week. And you'll want to see our next update on this. By the middle of next week, say Wednesday and Thursday, this system should be moving out. But what happens after that? We're tracking more chances for snow towards the end of next week, but will they be anywhere near as widespread as what we're about to face over the next 5 days? So what happens if this nor'easter is as absolutely powerful as the GFS model is currently showing? We could be looking at a true possibility of a widespread 1+ foot of snowfall being dumped across areas from Pennsylvania clear through central and northeastern New England. That means places like New Hampshire, Vermont, and even western and northern Massachusetts would be right in the crosshairs. But here's the twist. Look at how razor sharp this cutoff line is between crippling amounts of snow and almost nothing at all. This is a classic high-stakes nor'easter setup for New England, and it looks like it could be on our doorstep by Tuesday. But then, the European model enters the ring, telling a completely different story with a storm track much farther south and a lot less snow. It's showing a more manageable 3 to 6 inches of snowfall for most areas, with maybe a few spots getting 8 to 12 inches. So, which model is right? That's the million-dollar question, and we have a lot to figure out with this next winter storm. We are going to have a much more detailed deep dive video on this storm this Sunday as it gets closer, and we will give you every single detail you need. You cannot afford to miss it, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel. And speaking of can't miss deals, our huge Black Friday sale is happening now at shopmaxvelocity.net. You can use the code Black Friday to get $5 off any order of $50 or more, and that includes our brand new top-selling cheese curd collection. And yes, that is named after my cat. We've also got a ton of other cool stuff, like our Happy Holidays and Supercell merch. You can check it all out using the top link right in the description below. We might even pop on tonight for a surprise Q&A live stream. We'll be digging into the latest details as they come in, but if not tonight, we will be live tomorrow. Keep in mind, there's no regular video tomorrow, so stay tuned because this story is just getting started, and we'll see you all in the next video or live stream.